Thank you for joining. Today we are going to talk about muscles, bones, joints, and pain. Because every day, believe it or not, when we open our eyes, even before we open our eyes to wake up, our muscles are at work. So God gave the human body 3 types of muscles. And I like to say this because these muscles work together. Even though there are 3 different types, they work together. The first one is the skeletal muscle. That's the muscle you and I move. As you're drinking your water, Sister Michelle, you are reaching for that cup. You're telling your brain, go get the cup, I'm thirsty, and you drink. As you put that glass to your mouth and the water is traveling down through your throat all the way to your intestines, your smooth muscles are the ones which just move to help that water go down. And those smooth muscles have their own intelligence that as soon as food is present, they push things down, right? And then as you're breathing, as you're drinking that water, right here at the throat, there's a flap which closes automatically as you drink. It closes so that water doesn't go in your lungs. It goes the right way. So as I speak now, this flap is constantly opening and closing. If I want to swallow my spit, it closes the airway. And when I finish swallowing, it opens up so that the air comes in and out. So it's very amazing how God created us. And so all this is connected to how we live and how we function. So those 3 muscles is what makes us survive. Because if you think about it, these muscles, their function, they are stimulated by different things. So as you're drinking that water and breathing, the heart is still pumping because it is the heart which provides the blood which goes to these muscles to work. So you might be wondering, so what's the relevance? You've heard people say this. If you don't use it, what happens if you don't use it? You lose it. Correct. So over time, because we are all aging, just getting old means we are losing some of the muscles anyhow. Have you heard about the blue zones? Have you heard about the blue zones where the people are living to be over 100 years old? The blue zones. Okay. So
yeah, you mentioned something about that with the Loma Linda people, didn't you? I think previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Sister PG. You need to look into it. Actually, they featured the Seventh-day Adventist Church when they talked about the blue zones in the National Geographic Explorer. You know, the National Geographic Explorer. And they actually have a whole video about this when they were saying that the blue zones, Adventists, Seventh-day Adventists, they live to be centenarians, like they're 100 years old. And Loma Linda is one of our zones here in the US. But we are not the only place. There's Okinawa, Japan. There's a couple places in the Amazonian region where people are active beyond the age of 100. And it's because these people, they have embraced active lifestyles and healthy living. And part of the longevity itself is related to the fact that these muscles are being used. So that's one of the secrets, is that these muscles are being used. And also the other one is that the oxygen in the heart. So whenever you hear people say you need to stay active to live healthier, what they are saying is that when you move like you did today, Sister PG, your body starts using up oxygen. So your heart muscle, which is your smooth muscle, with cardiac muscle in the heart, is going to work to pump blood to the rest of your body. So longevity, living longer and healthier, is related to how the heart is taken care of. I don't know about you. One thing which made me realize how delicate life is when I discovered that at a very young age, that when a person gets a flat line, you know what I mean, right? it usually happens in the ICU. When a person gets that flat line, life is gone. And when I understood the concept of a flat line, I was younger, I then understood what it meant in the Bible when the Bible said God made us out of clay and he breathed his breath in us and the clay became a living being. So what that literally translates to is that when God molded this clay,
Indeed,
which is you and I,
or 280.
this is Ali, that when God created you and I and breathed in us, right? That breath is air, and that air can only reach the rest of the body if the heart muscle is working right. And so that was a sobering moment for me, such that anytime I'm trying to make decisions on how I deal with stress, or how I handle relationships, or how I deal with my day every day, it boils down to me to what does this do to my heart? And I just want to say this because a lot of people are trying to find these solutions to a lot of problems. If we can understand a little bit more that God himself, he said this in the book of Psalms, and I'll make reference to scripture here. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth the righteousness as light, and thy judgment is noonday. Psalms 37, verse 5. And so when I think about making decisions like you did today, my sister, you went for a walk. That was good. And so when you move, life is better. So that's when it comes to the heart and the relationship between the heart, the muscles of the legs, the arms, and everything else, and the inside of us, which is the smooth muscles, is that when the heart pumps, the blood goes to the muscles so the muscles can move. And when the heart pumps blood, the blood goes through the arteries. The arteries is smooth muscle. And when those smooth muscles of the arteries are not relaxed, blood pressure is up. So that's the relationship between all what we are talking about here. So in everything we do, therefore, we want to make sure that when we are at rest, like you're not doing anything. The heart is not stressed. At rest, the heart should not be stressed. So the resting heart rate matters. The lower it is, the better at rest. However, when you are moving around, the heart rate has to increase for the body to benefit from the movement, like you go to the park. And that itself is benefit because the heart pumps more when the demand for oxygen is more. Generally, when we are just sitting still, when you're just being still and knowing He is God, the heart should be at peace and calm. And on average, that is 75, 76 for most people. It can go as low as 50, 54. The lower it is, the more fitter cardiovascular fitness the person has. Below 50, it's pathological. When heart rate drops below 50, there's something wrong with the heart, or there's something else wrong with some body part, in most cases, the nervous system, the brain itself. So I say this to every single person I see because in order for the body to thrive and for us to be at peace, for the brain to get enough blood supply, we have to move. That's our muscles. At some point, we gotta have to move vigorously. And Ellen G. White calls this process of moving that when the body is engaged in physical, she calls it physical movement, it allows the blood to flow to the vital organs of the body. And the vital organs is the brain, the lungs, and the heart. So most of you are aware that heart disease is the #1 killer of people in the world. So I'm going somewhere with this. So therefore, the first order of work for us,